Northcentral connected. It's been a little while since we've been together in this room.
Is that our actual intro music?
That is, because remember JD was dancing to it the first time we had it, and you asked me if JD, we got that on camera of him dancing.
Did we?
It's been a while, but yeah,
It's in the vault.
It's in the vault.
I had to catch myself.
We'll review that during evaluation.
August. This is the second major podcast. We had Youth Tour in March, and we've been quite busy. A lot going on. So much so, I think that we need to get Billy Joel on the phone and work on We Didn't Start the Fire Part 2. That's what's happened in 8 months, and we'll get all through that. But to start things off, we have our CEO and General Manager, Kevin Doddridge.
Hello, everyone.
Our Director of Safety and Loss Control, JD Cox.
Excited to be back.
And our Director of Economic Development and Marketing, Michael Bellapani.
Hey there.
And I'm your Media Specialist, Justin Jaggers. Like I said, we've got a lot to talk about, so we're just going to dive right into it with our CEO, Mr. Doddridge.
Yeah, I'll try to make it quick. I think that probably if you listen to this, what's primarily on your mind is going to be the temperatures. And we did not have the extreme heat this year that we had last year, but that doesn't mean that we hadn't had extreme heat and a lot of nights when we didn't get much recovery. And we're seeing more and more of that, and I think we're going to continue to as we turn into a more urban environment and we don't get the recovery because we got more concrete and asphalt and everything else out there. But it's been a very hot summer, and it's I think 2024 is going to be on pace to be even hotter, probably some of the hottest on record. So just something to keep in mind, and I'm sure JD's going to want to talk a little bit about that as far as, one of the primary things you want to do. We want to make sure that your thermostat's in a responsible area. You work on your energy demand, which we haven't had problems, but, take care of yourself is going to be a primary concern. A lot of the issues that your electric cooperative is facing right now are simple economics 101, supply and demand. And I always have to revert back to my glasses occasionally. But supply and demand has affected us in multiple ways. One of them is just our coworkers. There's a lot of utility-based infrastructure being built right now, whether it's in Memphis or other areas, and there is a big demand for labor. And, a lot of this money came down from the Fed, a lot of grant money, so a lot of projects need to be built in a certain amount of time, so a lot of these contractors and other utilities will throw a lot of money out there. We've got, in my opinion, some of the best trained employees in the country that work in all aspects of the cooperative, and our line foremen, our linemen, and the people that do the fiber work, which we're kind of getting them to where they're all doing the same amount of work. A lot of value there, and we want to make sure that we protect them, but it's one of those things that it's an ongoing challenge. I have talked before about our supply chain and materials. When I say materials, in general, I'm talking about the materials that you see, the transformer in your front yard, the pole that you may or may not have, the wire, the conductor that serves you. All of these are in demand, and the pricing has gone up exponentially. Transformers right now are a major concern. We are getting kind of sort of what we need, maybe not quite as much as what we want, as maintaining an inventory on hand. And to get what we want, we're having to look at a 1 year plus deliveries. So transformers are at a premium right now, and that's not always good when you're going into periods of extreme weather. A lot of this is just by demand and the electrification of the United States right now. But another issue is our friends at the Department of Energy are trying to get the transformer market to go strictly to having a transformer manufactured out of amorphous steel. The efficiency of this transformer will go up, I believe, 0.02%, which is good. And if you look across the country and the utilization, there could be some savings there. But this standard is really premature at a time when we're having a hard time getting transformers manufactured under the current standard, and really the standard prior to that was not that bad. These are standards that, at the end of the day, we don't think will probably take effect. We think there may be enough opposition to the agency to where the standard doesn't take effect. But if you're a company and you're trying to determine what transformer to manufacture, it does put some doubt in your mind, and you're really not able to know if you want to invest in the current technology for manufacturing or if you're going to make a change. Very difficult for our manufacturers. We're kind of seeing the same thing in the markets where we're generating electricity. A lot of demand for electricity. We're seeing generation shortfalls in some areas. Some areas are a little long, and you got to remember that generating facilities like to retain certain reserve margins. That keeps us safe during periods of extreme weather. But we do have some issues in that our friends at the Environmental Protection Agency have introduced new standards for greenhouse gases. One of the major things this does is it pulls natural gas generation into that mix and puts it at risk in the next 7 years. We have a huge demand for electricity, and right now we can't build enough to keep up. That's on an average day. Once again, to go back to that term I used earlier, doubt, and needing consistency going forward, if you're looking at a multi-billion-dollar investment in a generating facility, you want to make sure you're going to be able to use it the next 7 years. The courts have traditionally struck down these measures. It's another one to where we don't think that this is going to take place. But having said that, there is some doubt and some concern. And also when you go to the lending markets, do you want to actually lend billions of dollars to utilities that need to build these assets, not completely sure if they're going to be usable in the next 7 years? So you're steady working on stuff over there.
Well, my cameras decided to quit on me for a little bit there.
So they don't get me anymore? I mean, are we audio only?
No, we're filming. Don't worry.
We'll go to stock footage.
I was going to. Yeah, I've mentioned some things that are a challenge, and we have challenges every day. We also have a problem that I think in that we often focus on the bad things. So I want to remind everybody, and I'm sure you remind yourselves, we have an abundance of great things going on in our community right now. We got a lot of great kids that are going to school, a lot of schools that are open, growth in the area, vibrant and robust growth. We're seeing jobs coming in. So I don't want to be, I leave it to JD to be our Debbie Downer, but he's good at it. But I don't want people to think that everything is bad. And typically, everything works out. It just takes a little work to get there.
All right. Well, that was a lot. JD, I guess you're up because you got to talk about hot temperatures as well, I guess.
Yeah, Kevin started off, talking about the heat, and obviously that's something this time of year that we worry about just from an employee standpoint from working outside. It's nothing new to us. Typically this time of year in Mississippi, it's always hot. But it's something that we have to, keep our eye on and remain vigilant. And we do a lot here in consideration of the employees that have to work outside. The work that the outside crews are doing, installing the new power lines, maintaining the power lines, installing the fiber, getting that out just as quickly as possible. Our membership, they want it, they need it. And, we're really pushing the envelope, just trying to get it to them as quickly as possible. And the heat this time of year obviously, plays into that. But we do some things every year to try to mitigate, the heat on employees. And to me, one of the things that Kevin allows us to do every year, and that is we change shifts. The outside employees get to come in a little bit earlier, and they get to leave a little bit earlier in the afternoon when that sun is really, really tough. In between about 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock is typically the hottest part of the day. I know a couple of weeks ago, I have this little OSHA app, and I'm kind of, I guess, geeky like that, look at stuff. And that whole week, the heat index did not drop below 90 degrees until after 9 o'clock at night. So it's very important that we do that shift change in the summer to get the guys, out of the heat just as quickly as possible, get most of the work done early in the morning when it's cool as possible. Also, every summer we do a lot of training. We are our brother's keeper. We believe that very much here. We have a tremendous culture of safety. And one of the things that we talk about in a crew environment, hey, you got to watch out for your buddy. We have some of the best trained, hardest working employees out there.
Absolutely.
And they really have an attitude they don't want to give up. So when they're trying to complete a task, finish a job, meet a deadline that, that we've promised a member, a business, whatever the case may be, they're intent on getting it done. Mm-hmm. And sometimes in doing that, we just get so busy, we get caught up in it, and we don't realize we're getting hot. We haven't had enough water. And that's when really you got to have that buddy, that coworker, the guy in the bucket with you that says, hey, man, we've been at this for a little while. Let's go down and get a cool drink of water.
I realize I get hot pretty quick.
And you're not in the bucket truck.
And, the types of work, I would invite anybody to come out to some of the demonstrations that we do and see the protective equipment that the guys have to put on. In addition to just the heavy boots, blue jeans, long sleeve shirts, hard hat glasses. In many cases, they have to wear very thick 30 kV, 30,000 volt rubber gloves and sleeves. And so you can just imagine going outside when it's 100-degree heat index, and basically you're putting on a wetsuit.
And then we mentioned the bucket truck, but I'll tell you, those trenches are unforgiving. There is no airflow down there.
No airflow, absolutely. But we do a lot of things. The shift change, we do a lot of training. One of the biggest things that we do is we jump on this early in the year. About 70% of heat-related illnesses happen early in the year because people are just not acclimated yet to being outside. And used to, when I was, I guess 100 years ago when I was growing up or whatever, we had 4 seasons. Now it seems like we have 2. It's hot and cold. And when that switch flips, it's just one day the temperatures are in the 80s, and the next thing it just seems like, it's an inferno. So we do a lot of early education there. Northcentral spares no expense in getting employees the hydration that they need, all types of hydration, just to keep them, to drinking plenty of water and fluids and stuff like that. Take plenty of breaks, and just control the exposure as much as possible. And, those are some of the things we do at work. But, also, early in the school year, you got to think about sports. Everybody's fired up. Football season coming on, guys out there doing 2-a-days. And let me tell you something that I never thought about until I had 2 children, to actually participate in it. Don't laugh at me. Band kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. Those band kids out there in 100-degree heat marching for hours and hours and hours, in that heat playing their instruments. I'm going to tell you, I never understood just how demanding that was on kids out there. Mm-hmm. So, if you're a football coach, band leader, they do a good job. Just please make sure, that your athletes, have plenty to drink. Also, this time of year, severe weather. We had a little bit of some storms come through this morning, stuff like that. We've seen quite a few storms so far this year come through, and in a very small amount of time do some significant damage. Very grateful that with all of the planning and everything that's done here and all of the work that's done beforehand, the resiliency of our system has really shown. So very proud of that. But when those storms do roll through, please just remember, if you see a down power line, report it. Don't get anywhere close to it. Justin, I'm sure, will go over all of the different places, numbers, and locations that you can report incidents like that.
662-895-2151. Outages.northcentral.com.
Awesome. And that'll lead me in, I guess, to the last thing that I wanted to talk about. Kevin has talked for many different occasions about how fast we're trying to get fiber rolled out. And a lot of that work so far has been overhead lines. And now we're getting to phases where that work is going to be predominantly underground work. And we had some new provisions put into the state call before you dig, 811 Mississippi call before you dig law. And I would just encourage you, if you're thinking about, putting a fence up, if you're thinking about doing an addition, a swimming pool, any of those things that you may be considered, please call 811. It is a free call. It doesn't cost you a dime. And you could keep an outage out that could affect not just you, maybe your whole neighborhood. And, this time of year, when it is so hot, the last thing you want to do is be the cause of not only your neighbor's power out, but their internet's out, and you're not going to be very popular at the next homeowners association.
And you may hurt
meeting.
Yourself. Also,
Absolutely.
there needs to be probably some consideration. You mentioned the football games in the schedule, and a lot of people are setting up tents with long stakes going in the ground. And a lot of these new schools, there's a primary place where the power enters overhead, and after that, the entire multiple campuses are underground. And some knowledge of that would be helpful before you start putting in those long metal stakes for all these tents we're going to see.
And all you got to do is make one phone call, tell them where you're going to be, and when you want to start. They'll come out there. We'll put some different color paint on the ground to tell you what's there, whether it's electric, whether it's communication, whether it's water, sewer, whatever the case may be. And then that way, if you want to set up a little tent for a tailgating party or something like that, you don't have to worry about getting hurt. So just a little ounce of prevention. Old sayings are old sayings for a reason, but a little ounce of prevention, it still holds very much true.
Well, make sure your contractor does this too. A few months ago, I had a situation at my house and lost internet for a week because somebody didn't make that call. So make sure, anybody that you bring onto your property, make sure they've done the work too. So.
Yeah, and you can make that call too
Absolutely.
as a homeowner.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, so just keep those things in mind. It's hot. We know it. We're working very diligently to make sure that the power's there, it's reliable, and to keep our folks safe. And we would just ask that y'all take steps to, keep safe at your homes when you're having fun, sports events, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so, speaking of events, that's my best shot at a segue right now, I guess.
That's
Right?
right.
Did you see how we just led right
yeah, I know
into
that.
that?
I did.
Just,
So we've got a few events to talk about, but we're going to wait till it cools down a little bit, right?
Yeah, we are. We've got some on the calendar of a couple months out, but just to get everybody's attention on that, and we'll be advertising these, but we're bringing back Member Appreciation Day at a cooler time of the year, and it's going to be something just a fun day. It's a Monday. It's actually going to be one where the kids are out of school, so y'all can come by it. We'll have bounce houses, hot dogs, some door prize giveaways. And this is kind of leading up to our annual meeting, but Member Appreciation Day will be on October 9th, and more information to come.
Columbus Day.
Yeah, it's Columbus Day. Kids are out of school.
They're looking for something to do.
You're looking for something to do. They're looking for something to do, and
Not spend a
come
lot of
by.
money.
And we got hot dogs.
Yeah, we'll have hot dogs.
good ones.
Also that week is the Olive Branch Chamber Business Expo, and that's going to be on the 11th, October 11th at Whispering Woods, and Northcentral is a presenting sponsor of that event. If you want to promote your business and you're a member of the chamber, please reach out to the Olive Branch Chamber, visit their website, and see how you can participate. We'll have most of the area businesses there representing their goods and services, and just a great event. And then just to let everybody know, our annual meeting is coming up on the 25th. That's a very important business meeting where you'll get updates on the condition, I guess a state of the co-op address. If there is
That's
one.
it. That's it.
And
We
then
got the
we'll,
marching band playing Hail the Chief.
we'll be
Bringing the sonic boombox to the south up here.
that's a good idea.
I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah. We'll also be electing 3 board members. So each member will receive a notice about that. We ask that you please return that to us to get your vote in and let your voice be heard on how your co-op is run.
We'll also be streaming that live on Facebook as
Yes. Yes. More information to come on the magazine for that. Speaking of election, today is election day. It's the primary election day in Mississippi, and typically I refer to the primaries as the conference championships before the Super Bowl, but we're a conservative state, so a lot of times the primary is it. So, but our voting districts have changed, and that's changed based on the census. A lot of your representatives and senators may have changed. So be sure to go to the Secretary of State's website and check out your sample ballots, and get with your circuit clerk and update your voter registration, because you may have been turned away during the primary election and sent to a different voting precinct. So make sure that that is updated well in advance for November general election. So that's important so that your voice can be heard.
You can also visit coopsvotems.com. Something that's put together by our statewide organization.
Yeah, coopsvotemississippi.com, ms.com, I'm sorry. And along those lines, we're going to be helping to register younger voters. We're going to coordinate a statewide voter registration day on National Voter Registration Day, which will be September 19th. And the co-ops across the state will be visiting our community college campuses and setting up and actually helping to register voters. We've gotten some questions, and I'm just going to address this real quick. We have y'all have noticed some changes to the look of our bill. We decided that after taking some feedback from members, we realized that you wanted more information about how you were being billed and what you were being billed for. So there's a bill explainer graphic on our Facebook page, Instagram page.
Is that one word, bill explainer graphic?
I guess so. Yeah, bill.
That's pretty good.
Graphic. Yeah. But it actually, there's actual temperature data on those days that you were billed, and it helps you to better see how you're using your energy and how you're being billed for it.
Translates into dollars as well. It's real helpful.
Yeah, it is. And there's also we've gotten some questions about how we've broken the rate out, and members have asked for this. They want to see how the rate is broken out, and nothing has changed. We just break this out into a line item. You'll see a TVA fuel generation charge. That's a direct pass-through from TVA as a charge for the fuels used to generate your power. And also you'll see your fixed customer charge, and that's a fixed charge that every member pays, and that goes to the maintenance of the system. If you have any questions about that, feel free to call our customer service, and we'll try and include a graphic on that in the magazine upcoming, but it's always out there on social media.
We made a post on July 12th. I can definitely put up another one to kind of refresh that. But we have it explains everything that's going on with your bill, and your usage for the entire year, monthly average, and then all kinds of information that way you can compare. What was happening last year, or even the days of the month. So.
Yeah, that's it's really neat. So hopefully it's helpful, and members will find that helpful. It is back to school time, and I will be going around to our area schools to hopefully coordinate school assemblies and talk to students to promote our youth leadership program. And for those of you that aren't aware, we do a statewide 3-day youth leadership workshop. Northcentral sponsors anywhere from 12 to 15 kids to go from our area schools. And those kids also get to go for a week-long trip to Washington, D.C. So I will be getting around to explain how to apply for that trip.
How much does that trip cost?
It is $0. It is covered by Northcentral. So we will we'll make sure to have packets out for those that aren't that may be homeschooled or go to a private school that we aren't able to get to, because we want every student that is served by Northcentral to have that opportunity to compete for this program. And lastly, probably one of the questions that we get most is, what's going on with Connect? When am I getting fiber? Well, I'll update you. We've got a number of phases open right now. Currently, building out our Barton phase, which is on the northern part of our territory in Marshall County. We'll be opening the last 2 cabinets in that phase, which means that it is completely built out and everybody has access to service. From there, we will open our Mariana phase, which goes south into Marshall County, and that will be open very soon, and hope to begin construction over the next 60 days, 45 to 60 days in our Chulahoma phase, which will go down to the very southern part of our service area, which is arguably the most rural of the area.
So when the fiber's on the road in front of these people's homes, how much does it cost them to bring it to their house?
Zero.
Wow.
$0. We are
There's a lot of free stuff happening,
And the length of the first contract is?
zero. There is no contract required, no equipment charges.
That's
And
awesome.
You will you will find speeds of up to 1 gig, and those are symmetrical speeds. So if you work from home and you do a lot of data work, that upload speed, or if you're a gamer, the upload speed is just as important as the download speed. So, but our service is top notch in the market. So. Like I said, no equipment costs, no installation fees, no contracts. And I encourage you to go visit northcentralconnect.com and register your address. There's no obligation to do that. And when service is available, we will email you to sign a service agreement and get somebody out to do the installation at your property.
Give us a call. It is a great product.
Yep. North Central
Guaranteed.
Connect is also 662-932-3500. You can get talk to one of our people about getting connected, or if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer as many as you have. So
Yeah.
Oh,
blood drive.
Yes.
Blood drive.
So going back to what you said about, I was saving up for it. I didn't want to interrupt
Okay.
you. There's a lot going on because after 8-month hiatus here. So our Membership Appreciation Day, October 9th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. inside of our auditorium. I have just confirmed it. It is on the website today. Vitalant will be doing a blood drive for blood donations, whole blood and Power Red. I don't know if you've ever seen the Power Red donation, but that takes about 30 minutes. They work on getting, they get the double red blood cells and filter some stuff back to you, and they keep the blood. So, but it's counts as 2 donations. It's very helpful, and of course blood's in short supply, and hospitals always need help with with patients and everything else. So we have 16 available slots. They have told me that they want at least 15 donations.
Okay.
So we'll see what we can do. So in order to sweeten the pot on that one, if you are a member of North Central Electric Cooperative and you come to Membership Appreciation Day, you donate some blood, we'll give you a cookie and a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card.
Yep.
And so you can get your cookie and your orange juice and a chance to win $50. That's not that is 1 in 16 chance. So anybody that donates that day gets a chance of the people that donated at North Central on that day. It's not a national contest. It's something we do to provide something extra to our members.
You could truly save a life by doing that.
You absolutely. And if you do double red, you can save 2 lives.
Yeah.
So, and you get a cookie. I mean,
Had
can't
me
turn
a
that
cookie.
So, and I think they usually have some soft drinks too, some orange juice or Coke or something. So, all right. So I think that is it for us.
We should do this again a little
We
sooner.
should do this again in 4 weeks. So we will try. But if you have any questions, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Vimeo. We're all over the place. Call us 662-895-2151. We'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. NorthCentralElectric.com, NorthCentralConnect.com. Did I forget anything?
Covered it all.
All right.
All right. We will see you guys soon. Thank you so much.